We live in a world, and we call that world a planet. But that planet is big. It contains worlds. Hot and cold. But we return to the cold, and we return to the hot, and all that's between, for we always are got by cycling change. La 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 It's the beginning of a semester. Being in the school where I work reminds me of the past and being in school as a child. When I was growing up in Ottawa, my brother and I went to the same school, Crichton. It was a small public school that seemed immense when we went there. Everything just seemed to sort of tower over us. We weren't in the same grade. We were 2.5 years apart. Those 2 levels between us seemed immense also. And as a result, we didn't really have much contact with each other. We seemed to live in separate worlds. When you're a child, even 1 year's difference is big. Because I was born very late in the year, it seemed that people in my own class were somewhat far ahead of me in terms of physical development or mental acuity. I was a smart kid, but I wasn't a very practical kid. In any case, Richard and I went to the same school, but sort of kept to ourselves when we were in public school. In junior high, which lasted 2 years, which is called middle school now, again because of that 2-year difference, there was no chance of us being together, and in any case, Richard, and this seems so long ago, went to a completely different junior high for a French immersion course. That seemed very foreign to me as well. The fact that he was learning French, I wasn't. I envied him on a certain level, but I didn't really think about it that much. It was a very Anglophone world that I lived in, and so I just sort of traipsed along, happy to be with my schoolmates who I'd met in grade 6 in an enriched class. Finally, I went to a high school named Lisgar in downtown, and I was happy to get into that school. Of the public schools, it was one of the most prestigious, probably the most prestigious. A collegiate, after all, not just a mere high school. And I lived in my own world. It was a bad grade 9. I was bullied quite severely, but after that, things started to even out. And by the time Richard arrived at Lisgar, we were a little bit older, and we did start to hang around a little bit. We'd see each other outside. But we were somewhat apart, too. I had got fed up with the warm, friendly, but completely chaotic atmosphere of living with my mom. And so I lived with my dad for a while. That was rather austere. That was comfortable too, but a bit lonely. Finally, I moved back in with my mom and Richard. And Richard and I would hang out sometimes on the street outside classes, but we had our own friends, our own particular worlds.
はるか45号関西空港行きです。次は信号旗に停まります。まもなく発車いたします。